Welcome back, everyone. It is Bulldog here to talk about the largest altcoin in my portfolio. That's right, I'm here to talk about the TIBBIR token and why it is my highest conviction play of this cycle. Now, there's no crypto play that is without risk, but I am convinced this is going to be the token that takes my portfolio to the next level. To me, this is like if you walked into a casino and somebody gave you a deal that said, "Hey, you can play roulette here. You can choose black or red, and we're gonna give you 10-to-1 odds." It's not that there's no risk, but the risk reward ratio just seems way too good to pass up. So I have loaded up on the TIBBIR token, which is kind of unusual. It's one of the strangest tokens because nobody actually knows why it's there. Nobody knows what it does. It's a token that was stealth launched with, there's been no official announcement by the team, by anybody, but we've had some Web3 sleuths who have discovered who launched this token, and we are pretty convinced on who launched it, and that is the most important thing because everything this person touches turns to gold. So we are going to spend most of this video looking at the evidence on social media, on chain, about why we believe this TIBBIR token was launched by number 5 here on the Forbes Midas list. They're the worldwide ranking by Forbes for venture capitalist Micky Malka here and Ribbit Capital. Ribbit Capital is his firm. You'll notice TIBBIR is Ribbit spelled backwards. And I could make this video an hour long with 30 minutes of it being all of the successful investments Micky Malka and Ribbit Capital have made, but we don't need it to be that long, okay? If you guys want to go dive into that, there are plenty of other videos. His success is well documented. He's had all sorts of successful fintech, financial tech investments, Coinbase, Robinhood. He is all over the place. A lot of these investments link together, connect together, and basically the bottom line is if this guy is creating a token, if he's involved in a project, you want to be involved with it. So let's dive down the rabbit hole, or maybe we should call it the ribbit hole, and take a look at why we believe Ribbit Capital is behind this token. So simple enough, scroll down here, you can see the owner of the token, and if we pull, we can see on chain that wallet was funded by Micky himself. This is his account. It's linked to some of his social media. It's linked to several projects. We know that is him. So he is very clear with on-chain data. He is very clearly involved in this somehow. But it might not be just a token. If we go to some of his SEC documents that he's filed with Robinhood here, we see references to TIBBIR Holdings. He has created TIBBIR Holdings LLC. There's a document there. Here's another document where references TIBBIR Holdings, references TIBBIR Trust. Now, I'm not going to go into everything that these all mean, mainly because I'm afraid that I'll get it wrong. But the bottom line is there are legal TIBBIR entities. He is clearly using the TIBBIR name for hopefully some pretty big things. And then we've got some social media links as well. If we come over here, this is what his current X profile looks like, but his profile picture didn't look like that shortly after they launched a token. When did the token launch? If we come back here, we can see on chain, this on January 11th is when the token was funded. And let's come over to this picture, that altcoinist.com. Huge shout out to altcoinist.com for a lot of this information actually, but this is one of his actual tweets. He changed it to this Mickey Mouse, picture of this Mickey Mouse clock. And you can't even see it with just what's on the X profile. But if you open up the entire image, you will see that up in the corner, there's the Saturday 1/11, January 11th, Saturday. Seems is that just a coincidence? Surely not a coincidence for him to change his profile pic temporarily to this image here. It seems like he's clearly hinting at something. The bot itself says Micky is the CEO. Also lists some of the other Ribbit Capital team here and their roles. Of course, anybody could say that, right? But if we actually click on them and go look at the followers of the bot, Jordan, Eva, Zach, they are all following basically the entire Ribbit Capital team that is on X, that's publicly on X, is following the TIBBIR bot, the Ribbit bot. Why would they all be following it? They're obviously not being duped, right? They know what's going on. They know if this is something real or not. They wouldn't get scammed if somebody was just trying to use this name, use some of the images. Oh, speaking of images, that was one of the criticisms some people had, was that, hey, let's look at this virtuals. Look at our image here, our TIBBIR image, this frog with glasses. Guess what? You can actually go buy artwork for this frog with glasses. The artist is selling this on Amazon. Why would they just go take some random image of a frog instead of getting their own image? Of course, then we went down the rabbit hole and found out who this artist is. This artist is Julian Tremere. I'm sure I butchered that name. I am sorry, Julian. But guess what? This frog over on the left-hand side here, kind of looking around the wall, he also created that frog. In fact, he likes that frog so much, it's his main profile pic. Where else is that frog? That is the same frog that is on the Ribbit Capital X profile. It's on their LinkedIn profile. The same artist that designed the frog for Ribbit Capital also designed the frog that is on the TIBBIR token. There's links everywhere. These are not all of the links, but I feel like at this point it's pretty clear. Ribbit Capital has launched this token. Why have they launched this token? That's kind of the next question. We have no idea. There is a lot of speculation. There are a lot of things I could go into as to what I think this is going to be for. Everybody has different opinions. The bot has given us some hints here, some hints there. People think it might integrate with Robinhood here, Coinbase there. We don't really know. In fact, we don't even know if there are plans. Just because somebody launched a token doesn't mean they have big plans for this to be a billion dollar project. But I just can't believe that they don't have big plans for it. They have seen, again, they're active on social media. They've seen a lot of the hype going on right now. It would just be irresponsible, in my opinion, for a company like that. This is a company worth billions of dollars. They've got billions of dollars in investments, massive amounts of money. They don't need to run a basically a scam like this. And yes, if they launch a token, didn't tell anybody to buy it, and people bought it on their own, that doesn't necessarily make it a scam. But it's very deceitful if they stand by and watch all of this go on for months. For months, watch people throw money into this and don't say, hey, there's not actually any plans for it. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be plans for it, but whatever that project being built maybe doesn't make it to launch. Not all projects make it to launch, even from the biggest companies. But I am a firm believer that there is a project here from the Ribbit Capital team, and if they get something to launch, its market cap is going to be in the billions easy. That's a 12x from here. It could very easily get in the tens of billions. That's the level of company that we are talking about here, and that's why I say the risk reward ratio is just off. There's risk in crypto. There's always risk. I don't want to tell you guys this is a risk-free investment, because it's absolutely not. But if this company, even if they launch an official project with their name on it, it's going to see a massive gain. It's probably $1 billion market cap. And then if that company or that project actually has success, it could go multiple times even higher than that. The potential here is absolutely insane. If you are into altcoins and crypto, if you are in the virtuals platform, if you are watching this video You are basically interested in gambling. That's what this is. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble where the odds, the reward is just so high, and the odds of hitting that are so good. You'd be crazy not to throw something into it. I am not a financial advisor. I put these together just for entertainment purposes to share with you guys my own personal plays. And of course, I do have incentives here. This is not a sponsored video, but I do have affiliate links down below with the Virtuals platform where, oh, by the way, you can earn a lot of Virtuals points by staking TIBBIR, but I can also get points for creating content around TIBBIR and any of these tokens. But I'm a huge believer, which, by the way, if you like if you're interested in these other tokens, make sure you follow the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Typically, we're going to cover more of the Genesis tokens, the upcoming tokens. This is one that's already released. But if you like this research, make sure to give me a follow. And I say this research, this is very unusual research. Typically, we'll be looking at more traditional tokenomics, use cases, how tokens can generate profits, those types of things. This one's a little strange though, because we are just all in on who created the token and betting on whether or not we think they can put a successful project out there. But I think they can. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens. Let me know in the comments. If we have any Web3 sleuths out there, I'd love to have you dig into this, see if you can poke some holes, see if you can point out some red flags. But so far, everything we dive in and look at just leads us back to the Ribbit Capital team. I'm very convinced they are the ones that put this together, and now it's just a question of whether or not they can put out a successful project or get a project to market at all. But I think they will. I'm excited. Hit that sub button. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.